Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I just got done watching uh, The Haunting on Hill House. It took like 4 days to get through this. This is a this is a very good series. I just literally got done about a half hour ago. It's very well done. It's a Netflix original. Mike Flanagan is the one that directed these, and I wanted to see what these was really like because everybody keeps telling me how good this was. It was good. Uh, there was parts in it that I just could not, I just couldn't get into. I'm not gonna get into it, but it was just parts in there. There was just parts in there that I just couldn't get into. Um, I had to fast forward because there's just parts in there I just could not get into. Wasn't not enough to take away from the whole series though. But I said, oh man, you had to put that in there. But this was very entertaining. Uh, this is very well written. Uh, it's just a very well written. I don't really have too much to say about this because I really know that a lot of people actually watch this. But I'm just saying, I finally got around to watching it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know if I'm gonna keep this. Um, because after I got done watching it, I sit there and I said to myself, are you going to rewatch this again? There's just some stuff that I just don't think I'll rewatch. I probably won't rewatch this, in spite of how good it was. And a lot of the little girls and little actresses and little kid actors in here, a lot of them are pretty much grown up now. Uh, one of them was in Ghostbusters. One of the girls was in the two Ghostbuster movies. The other girl was in uh, Megan, and I forgot what that other girl was in. So, um, and the little boy, I don't know what he was in, but I did look at the cast and what they were into and stuff. But this family gets this house and they're going to flip it so they can build their dream house, and they just this house has a. There was some really good camera imagery in this. The camera angles and the way the makeup and effects. It was really good. Um, there was some parts in here that made there was some nice, uh, not in your face jump scares, but the way they put them in there. Good story. Okay, yeah, they did a good job fleshing out each character. Each they Let's put it this way: they really took their good time fleshing out all the characters. If you say, and I know this is pretty old, really, because most of those kids are most of the kids that are kids in here are in their 20s now. So that shows you how old this is. It don't seem like it's that old, but it is. Uh, but I, if you definitely can't say that this series didn't flesh out all the characters. You know, it showed all the little kids when they was growing up in this house, but they was only supposed to be there for 8 months. Their mom and dad was supposed to flip it. And then their mom started having all these headaches, and then she ends up. The house kept making her see weird things. The house itself is really haunted. It's really haunted. And it had a lot of stuff in there about the people who used to own the house and all that stuff. And this is definitely a. I'm not gonna say it's a slow burn, but it's kind of a slow burn because there was times I was like, "Oh my god, man, will you guys kind of like get to the point?" But even when I said, "Will you guys get to the point?" I even said to myself, After I sat down and I was like, so, I mean, you really have to listen to the way people are talking. You have to really listen to the conversations they're having between themselves. You have to listen to the each conversation between each sibling. One had a drug problem. One was kind of depressed because her boyfriend did die of an aneurysm, and and then she was haunted by the broke neck woman, which the broke neck woman was her, and then the mom. Uh, it was it it it's a very very it's very good. I'll probably keep it because I was thinking about getting rid of a lot of my movies because I don't watch them anymore. So I said to myself, you know what? I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start catching movies that are on sale digitally and buy them because I really don't want to buy a bunch of movies anymore because I just don't. Because I know there's a lot of movies in here I just don't think I'm gonna watch anymore. I don't think I'm gonna watch this anymore. But you're gonna be surprised. I can see why everybody said this is the better one out of Mike Flanagan's, all the ones that he's got on Netflix. And when I just got done watching about 45 minutes ago, half hour ago, I can see why everybody, because everybody, I kept telling people how I fell in love with one of the other Mike Flanagan things that's on Netflix, and they said, "Well, have you watched Haunting on Hill House?" And they all kept telling me that's the best one. I said, "Man, I just couldn't get into it." They said, "What?" I said, "Man, I tried to get into it. Everybody was." I said, every time somebody talked to me, I said, "Man, everybody hyped that thing up," but I tried to watch it, dude, and I just couldn't get into it. So I decided to buy it, and I know I can watch it on Netflix, but I canceled Netflix. I only got like a couple more days before it's officially off. And I said, well, you know what? It was on sales on Amazon, so I bought it. And it is that I love the way that house is, the creepy house. I love the way this was shot. I love the way this was shot. And I do love the deep dive in each family, the husband and the wife, the children, the caretakers, the stories behind each person. I liked every person, all the kids were just like, and what was cool about this was it was really down to earth far as, the one brother ended up writing a book and most of the family was mad. And, he got pretty financially okay with that book. The book sold like hotcakes. And then he was trying to write another book, but every time he went to a book place, everybody wanted to know about the Haunting on Hill House, the book that he wrote. But he was trying to get another book wrote, and he was trying to work on his new novel, and they wanted to talk about his old novel. So, uh, he had a one sister that didn't want to have nothing to do with the money, so she didn't take his money. And then, uh, come find out, a lot of people in the family end up taking the money he offered them because he got rich off of the stuff that went on in Hell House, and they thought that he shouldn't have never. I don't know why they didn't think he should have talked about what they went through, because they really weren't there that long. They were only there for like they were supposed to be there for like 8 weeks. I think they were there for the whole summer, but they end up something happened to their mom and stuff. And that's the part that I end up stopped watching because I remember I was like, what happened to the mom? What happened to the mom? But when I started watching, I was like, golly, will you guys get to the point? So I decided to like, okay, Vic, sit down, listen to them talk, listen to all these conversations they have. And they got a lot of conversation in here. I mean, it's where two people sit down and they are talking and they're telling each other about this and how they're sorry about that or this happened, this and that. And when I sat down, I actually did sit down. This is this is really good. I can see why everybody got this as their favorite. I really can because there was parts where a lot of people had stuff in their, little skeletons in their closet. There was this little goody two shoes chick that ran the one sister that was she was a mortician, I guess you call them, the ones that work on dead people. And she worked on her own sister that hung herself, and her sister didn't hang herself. It was the house that made her hang herself. It was weird how that set up. So she didn't really kill herself. Then come find out she had a past that she had been holding on for such a long time, and it fleshed her story out. It was just a one time thing, and she had to live with that guilt. So at the end, it showed her actually telling her husband, she said, I got something I'm going to tell you. She goes, and because uh, her one sister uh, touched people and she could feel their pain and feel something when she touched people. So she always had to wear these gloves. So uh, there was something about her sister, the one that wore the gloves. I did not like her character at all. And she did a good job. As far as the girl that acted, great job. As far as her character, she did a great job. I just didn't like what was in her character. I didn't care for it at all. Every time I watch this, oh, it's just gross. Like, oh man, come on. And I was trying to fast watch it because they talk a lot. So if you don't listen, you'll miss stuff. So I'm like, nah, they ain't doing nothing but making out. So she's making out with this Asian chick, which I thought was pretty gross, just plain out gross because I don't get into it. So I said, okay, they're not talking, they're making out. So I fast forward, and I kept fast forwarding until they got to the end. But then I wanted to make sure when they were done, I want to see if she had something to say. But most times she didn't say. So every time it got to her, I was like, is she gonna do all this stuff I don't care for? But her character was really good. The girl did a good job. Her character. I looked her up, and I think she's married to Mike Flanagan, the guy that directed this. But she did a good job playing that role. I didn't like her character at all. I didn't care for it at all. I didn't like all that stuff. I even at the end it showed, her and that girl that she's making love with moving out, and I just fast forward. I didn't even want to hear it. I was like, I'm not listening to that crap because I don't get into it. So, but as far as her character, and as far as what she portrayed, all that she did a good job. A plus on A plus. But I just fast forward through all that mess. I do not want to see two dudes making love and two chicks making love. It just grosses me out. It makes my stomach turn. So I'm just putting it out there. But far as her performance and how she acted, she did a good job. I mean, especially with the way she was wearing gloves and stuff, and she didn't, she didn't want people touching her and stuff because she could feel things and she did a real good job with that. Um, the the older brother, man, the one that wrote the book, he did a good job. He was mad at his dad. Um, he was very mad at his dad, and then I like how they sealed that all up. His dad had to end up having a heart problem, and then, um, but at the end, I was saying, man, I hope I was watching this, and I said to myself, I hope they don't lose everyone. And sure enough, I kind of like the brother that was a drug addict. I just thought, man, I hope you survive. I hope you can conquer this thing, because a lot of times out there, you guys, there's a lot of us out there, man, that goes through so much stuff, and there's so many things that we don't like about ourselves, and we want to improve, and we try to do better, and it's like you just can't seem to get over that hump. And man, it's rough sometimes when you're trying to break free of something that you think is holding you back. And so, he was going through this thing with, shooting up his arm and all that kind of stuff, and I was rooting for him. And so I was really happy that when he went back to the house to set it on fire, and there was a thing about setting that house on fire, that house, there's a reason why that house should stand. And I did like how they explained that. There's a lot of stuff that they explain. I mean, a lot. And so I would honestly say this is an A plus. This is an A plus. I just don't know if I'm gonna go back to it. I like the ones that everybody said wasn't near as good as this one. And believe it or not, I can see why everybody thinks this is the best one. I can see why everybody says this is the best one out of Mike Flanagan's that he's got on Netflix. But the reason why I got into this one, and I had to find out on my own, because I definitely got into the fall of the Usher House. I love this. And also, there was two grown kids in this. This is another family of siblings that grew up with a well-to-do family, and it just goes really a deep dive into the corruptness of the company and the things that they were doing and how money can corrupt you and how you can sell your soul. Just don't care. It's a very good show, but I couldn't watch it. I got so mad the first, when I got it, my daughter and I was talking about this, and so I decided to watch it, and I didn't watch it for 2 days because I was mad because there was some scenes in here I didn't care for, and she says, "Dad, fast forward through, those two women making out, fast forward those two guys that are gay," and she goes, "Just fast forward, Dad, just fast forward." So I settled down because I said, every time I find something good, they always got to put that crap in there. She goes, "I know, Dad." She goes, "But it's not all the way through the movie. It's just certain parts of the movie." She goes, "Just fast forward." So I sat down for 2 days and I started to watch this, and I love this. The Fall of the Usher House. And guess what? This, according to most people, is not as good as this. So after watching this, compared to this, I agree. to a certain degree. Me, I can watch this over. For some strange reason, I can catch myself watching this over. For some strange reason, I cannot catch myself watching this over again. I feel like this one here, I could just move right along with it, in spite of some of the grossness that was into it. My daughter told me fast forward to it, and every time this one also has two women and two men, and I fast forward through it, and I didn't miss any of the story, and I really, really, truly enjoyed this. I had to buy this from China, so I should have seen that this was on Amazon somewhere, but it I don't think it is. But this one was on Amazon for some reason. I picked it up. So again, what I was saying is this is the better one, and I understand why people say it's the better one. I can see why people think it's the better one. It just seems like everybody keeps saying that every time Mike Flanagan came out with another one, the series, each one just went further down. But you're gonna be surprised. This one and the one about the people that was being oh, what was the name of that one where the uh, I got it coming from I ordered that uh, from eBay. I ordered this from eBay, and I ordered another one from eBay, and I can't think of the name of that. Let me look it up real quick. I can't think of the name of it, but it had something to do with this island and this uh, had something to do about this church, and it's kind of like a vampire one. I really enjoyed that one. Um, so I can't find the name because I told you I was trying to cancel my Netflix subscription, and when I got on Netflix, it did say it was canceled. So it said the only way I could look it up is to start my start my membership back up. I want to try to see if I can do it without Netflix, because the reason why is because I just don't use Netflix that much. I don't use Peacock that much. I don't use HBO Max that much. So I've been sitting back thinking about a lot of money I'm wasting each month on stuff. So I don't know if I'm gonna go back or not. I have to. It's just I barely watch Netflix. I barely watch Peacock, and I barely watch HBO Max. And it bothers me that I'm putting out all this money on all this stuff, and I'm not paying for it. But anyway, the other Mike Flanagan one is the one where he was. It's about this. It's almost like a vampire movie, and uh, these people was in this church, and it was so good. What I didn't like is the fact that, in some ways, that by me reading the scriptures every day and the Bible every day, it tried to make church look like a. Sometimes they portray church as a bad thing, and when I was watching, there's certain things in there I didn't care for, but um, that one was also good as well. So yeah, the Fall of the Usher House is my favorite, and then the one with the vampire in that church, that was my favorite, and this is not my favorite, but I can see why people would say that this is the best one. This is good. This is just some. I mean, it's just. I'm glad I bought it, but I just don't know if I'll go back to. I'll keep it because, like I said, I'm really thinking about not buying any more physicals because I really want to stop buying a bunch of physicals because I'm looking at the fact that are you going to rewatch a lot of movies? There's a ton of movies in here I'll rewatch over and over and over. And then there's a whole lot that I just won't watch anymore. And they're a one-time watch. So I said to myself, when I get videos from here on out, buying physical, I said, are you going to watch this over, or are you going to watch it once and that's it? And that's what I want to stop doing. The only reason why I say I'll get it digital because it's just me in a digital library, so I'm not worried about shelf space. So anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys know I did watch this, and yes, this is the best one of them all, but not for me. But according to most people, this is the best one they like out of all of them. According to most people I work with, people I talk to, and seldom conversations I have with people, they say this is. They always say, "Did you watch Haunting on Hill House?" I said no. They said, "What?" They said, "Oh man, you like Paul the Ulcer House, man. You love that." And I'm like, "Okay, but I love this one." And like I said, both of these have things in it I just don't care for at all. Period. So anyway, God bless. You guys be real safe out there and have a great new week coming. This is Sunday, and you got a new week coming. Be safe out there.